Hi, welcome. So this is gonna be a little bit of a rant, shall we say. You know, I've made videos in the past about the online hate that I receive. I think in that video I had said, like, this is the last time I'm gonna talk about it. Because inevitably when you put yourself online, people have this idea that they can just shit on you and you have to accept it. Otherwise, you should just leave. Despite their harassment, you're the one who should, just get off the internet. It would be better if you got off the internet. It would be better if people weren't such human beings. But anyways, so we all know, or maybe you don't, I receive great amounts of hate. It is what it is. I'm not trying to say like this is normal, this is okay. Obviously this type of thing affects people very negatively. And I'm not going to sit here and say that it doesn't affect me. Of course it affects me. But I feel like all I can do is really joke about it. Like, what am I gonna... If I sat here every single time that I got quote-unquote K-pop canceled, you guys would be concerned. You guys would be telling me to quit. Like, and by K-pop canceled, I just mean like a large enough amount of people have gotten mad at me to the point where I'm all over Twitter, I'm on TikTok, I'm getting annihilated in my comment, I'm getting ratioed in my comment section. I don't know if that makes sense. That's what I mean by K-pop canceled. So I said something, either I just said what I said, or it was taken out of context, or so on. I've gotten into quite a few Blackpink scandals where Blinks are really angry at me, but I'm not going to get into that today. I've talked about it multiple times. I've tried explaining my point of view multiple times. It doesn't matter. I'm still labeled a Blackpink anti. Anytime I do anything, there's always someone like, aren't you the girl who said Blackpink do their choreography too perfectly? Aren't you the girl that hated Blackpink for being too perfect? Don't listen to anything she says, because she obviously hates Blackpink. I'm over it. Like, it's been 2 years. I'm over it. But there are just instances where fandoms get too much. They cross so many lines, and then I end up not liking the group. For Blackpink, I'll be honest, I've had to mute them on Instagram for a little while. I've had to distance myself, because when you have all these people telling you to unalive yourself, telling you how ugly you are, how fat you are, and you're seeing these profile pictures of Blackpink members, it gets hard to look at their faces because that's all you associate them with. And you're calling me a Blackpink hater. Like, what am I gonna say to that? No, I don't hate Blackpink. Like, what am I gonna say to that? But there are some instances where I feel there's blatant misinformation being spread, or someone is purposely cutting me out of context to create a narrative that just is so far from what it was intended to be. And there are some groups that I don't talk a lot about. I'll keep it short and sweet, because I just know that if I said anything, it could be positive. I could say something positive and someone would be like, you're wrong. You're wrong because you're not seeing how deep this group is and blah, 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 blah. You might think it's just as simple as not reading the comments. I wish it was that simple. I wish it was that simple, because it's not just YouTube comments. Because when people are really mad, it goes all over Twitter. When people are mad, it goes all over Instagram, it goes on TikTok, and then I can't go on any social media sites because it's triggering to me. There was this one instance where I claimed that second gen paved the way. From there, of course, people were showing my on Instagram saying, hey guys, let's go tell her who actually paved the way. So of course, as I'm receiving DMs of people mad at me, of people, keen on telling me who paved the way, amongst other forms of harassment and just unpleasant things to read, I decide to close my DMs. But then when you decide to close your DMs, people screenshot that like, oh, this person's not receiving messages anymore. They must be hiding. They can't face their truth, and you still end up on Twitter. Anything you do can agitate people, and it's just there's no winning. So what happened this time? This tends to happen quite a bit. I see hate posts about me that just pop up out of nowhere, and it's like everyone is in agreement with this. And it's fine that people don't agree with me, but it's like, when it comes to sending me emails with detailed descriptions on how I should unalive myself, or when, there's tangible threats being made, or when, it just sometimes gets a lot, not gonna lie. But then you also have people who are thinking that I'm trying to be the victim. But this is just a rant. When you vent to someone and they're like, do you just need to vent, or do you need solutions? This is just a vent. I do not need solutions. But basically for Kingdom, from the beginning, you know, it was not pleasant to do. Reviewing them, ranking them was not pleasant to do, because the minute I would say anything about Stray Kids, I was labeled a Stray Kids auntie. I always ranked Stray Kids super high because I always loved their performances, but it doesn't, like, the reality doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't, and that bothers me in a sense, because like I already have issues understanding reality, and like it's just, you know, if you're telling me this isn't real, then I'm gonna believe you. And the more online hate I receive, the more I suffer with paranoia, the more I just don't really understand what is real and what isn't. And it's not that any other fandom wasn't trying to defend their faves for lip syncing. It's just that fandom was the loudest. But I kept on doing it because I thought I was contributing to, like, you know, a sense of community. We're all watching this show together and we're all sharing our thoughts, right? And I didn't think it should be such a big deal for me to be like, on a ranking of 1 to 6, this group ranks 6. Someone has to rank 6. It's not because they're bad, but they rank 6, and here's why. And I didn't think it would be such a big deal to be like, hey, this is an example of lip syncing, or this is an example of vocals peeking through, this is an example of Mnet's sneaky vocal editing. So it was actually the last Kingdom video that I reviewed where I just felt traumatized. I don't know any other word to use. I just felt defeated, I guess, because it just went too far. So the whole premise of my video was me critiquing the vocals because Mnet had clearly edited them. And because you edit the vocals to sound so perfected, of course it doesn't look like a live stage, because it just, what you're hearing isn't necessarily what you're seeing, because what you're hearing is super perfected, but you still have people dancing and singing on stage. So that editing obviously contributes to that. So I said this for every single group. Every single group, I said Mnet was editing their vocals. But when it came to Stray Kids, I was cut so out of context. I was just scrolling innocently through TikTok, and this was the point in time where I was like, I can't go on TikTok anymore, because like this was not the first time it happened. I just kept seeing myself pop up, you know, people saying like, this bitch deserves to go to hell, this is saying this, I can't believe Angelina, what a bitch, actually thinks that YG invented nature. You know, at this point I'm already getting canceled by Mitzi's because I said Mafia in the Morning was familiar, which actually, on that note, I was already getting canceled at this point, which made uploading this Kingdom video that much harder, because I'm like, people are already mad at me. I don't know if I can upload this, you know, because it is something that ruffles people's feathers. I don't think it's a big deal, but I know the K-pop fandom. And so I spent like an extra day. I was gonna upload it a specific day. I like spent an extra day editing it, making sure that I didn't say anything that could be misconstrued, anything that could be interpreted as negative. I was genuinely stressed out. I was like, this video was like 28 minutes and I cut it down to like 23 minutes. Just things that I'm like, this could be taken out of context. This, scrap that. That's not good. And this is very reflective of like a period of my life where I would do this constantly because I was just so terrified of people giving me backlash. I would spend hours, days editing one single video that really didn't need that much editing, but I needed to make sure that I wouldn't be taken out of context. Because once I said I don't hate twice, and someone edited that to say that I hated twice, and then people believed that I hated twice. So then of course people are gonna come harass me because they think that I openly hate twice. But yeah, so I had already, like, keep in mind, I had already edited this video to shit to make sure that like nothing could be taken out of context, and then lo and behold, it was taken out of context. So again, I'm scrolling on TikTok and I see a post about me and I watched it. I'm like, I want to see where you cut this video, because I do talk about the performances, how the performances are edited, how Mnet edited these vocals. And I said, and to be honest, I think it was just a mix of everything. I think it was a mix of lip syncing. I think it was a mix of very edited vocals, a mix of sometimes a backup track as well. And that's what people got mad at. But after I said that there was a mix, I said, but Stray Kids gave me the most raw performance. They assured me the most that their performance was live. But of course, the video was purposely cut before I said that. So yeah, I was all over Twitter apparently. I kept seeing comments that Stayville caught me. So I'm getting all these comments on the video saying like, how can you say Stray Kids are lip syncing when Ian had a voice voice crack. How dare you spread misinformation? Ian had a voice crack. There's no way he's gonna fake that. Why would he lip sync a voice crack? And I'm like, obviously these people are not watching the video because I praised Ian so much for the voice crack, how it assured us that the performance is live. Like, I know this is coming from somewhere and it's not coming from me. It's coming from external sources who are spreading quote unquote misinformation, comment after comment. And it feels weird. You know, you're just like, this isn't reality, but this is reality for everyone else. Like, it's very confusing. So it just made me, it was just like a point in time where I was like, I'm done with this. People are already saying, like, you're so fat. How could you even talk about live vocals? I'm getting threats. I'm getting, like, again, emails. You know, I'm already getting all of this. And on top of that, I have stays who are mad at me. And I know what you're going to say. Like, maybe you should take a break. I have been trying to distance myself, not read comments as much. And the thing is, I used to judge people in my position when I saw influencers talk about online hate. I used to judge them like, just go outside and touch grass. Literally, that's all it takes. But then I went through it myself and I shut up so fast. It literally takes experiencing online hate at that capacity. You know, I've had videos about me reach like 1 million views. Do you know what I mean? Like, my videos don't even get 1 million. Like, not to brag, but like, shit. So like, unless you go through that at that capacity, that much harassment, people like camping out on your social media sites for the next move you make, people being really terrible to you, I just feel like you wouldn't understand. And I didn't, you know, as sympathetic as I am, I didn't. I thought it was just as simple as, I don't know, not reading your comments. You know, I'm just trying to get by like everyone else. I'm just trying to survive like everyone else. I'm just trying to keep it together like everyone else. And it's not that like Stray Kids or Stays are inherently bad. It's just like, that was the fandom that like the catalyst, shall we say, after everything that I was already going through. But you know, I do try to hide it by putting filters and stuff, because it's not fun for you either to come onto my content and all you see is just people dragging me. All you see is just hate. Like, that's not fun either. That causes people concern. I don't want to cause people concern. I don't want people to, you know, come to my page and be like, I'm worried about her. Like, should I call someone? Like, I don't want to give people that feeling. That's not a fun feeling to have. It just honestly baffles me, because if I explain to someone who isn't into K-pop why people are mad at me, they laugh in my face and I'm like, I'm literally suffering right now. And they're just like, I don't get it. And I'm like, well, I don't know how to explain it to you. They're just really mad, because it does seem trivial. It does seem super ridiculous if you spell it out. Local girl gets threats because she said Stray Kids have a mix of vocals within their performance. That's fucked up. Like, do you not recognize how fucked up that sounds? On top of already having to exist in this shitty world, you know, it's just it gets a lot sometimes. But you know, in that same breath, sometimes it does feel super lonely because I don't comment a lot on people's posts, because like, I'm scared of the backlash too. If I comment on someone's post, you know, I recognize that I'm a polarizing, problematic figure in K-pop. And I can just hear people saying like, you're attributing too much importance to yourself. It's really not that. But like, when I comment on someone's things, then it's like, oh my God, it's the Blackpink hater. If I and it's just, it's not pleasant. Or you have another YouTuber who mentions you and then they get, that's not okay. Their subscribers are like, oh hell no, do not talk about her, do not associate yourself with her. Even now, I just uploaded, you know, why Everglow's first is familiar, but all the comments are mostly negative. My Last Kingdom video has like 30,000 views. You know, it's a decent amount of views, but the amount of hate that it's getting, the amount of external hate where I'm seeing myself on other social media sites doesn't make sense. Like, the amount of subscribers I have, the amount of views that I get, it just feels like it doesn't make sense with the amount of hate that I receive. If you think of like huge creators with like 10 million subscribers, you're like, of course they're gonna get hate. My videos don't usually go over like 50,000 views. I don't understand how I just don't understand the logistics of this all. But I just need you guys to know that like, an effort is being made. I'm making an effort to not go, on these social media accounts. Like, I don't go on Twitter because I know like that there's no peace that will be found there. I limit my time on TikTok because, like, what if, I don't, it's a move. It doesn't feel nice, just put yourself in my position. It wouldn't feel nice to see like a hate post about you. I've restricted my DMs for a really long time. I had restricted even comments on my posts and so on. I am making the effort to make this a safer space for myself. Despite all of this, for some reason my followers think it's quirky to send me the hate posts about me. So, out of sight, out of mind. Like, if I don't see it, it's fine. But even with all of this put in place, me trying to protect myself, trying to protect my mental health, because I'm like, if I see another post about me, I'm gonna lose it. Of course I do try to protect myself. I don't want you guys to think I'm just sitting here being like, the world is against me. But even when I go off of every social media site and I close myself off into my little corner on Instagram, I'm bombarded with people sending me shit posts about me. And I understand to an extent, you're seeing me somewhere, you want me to know about it. But then there's people who are like screenshotting all the mean comments about me and sending it to me being like, this is what's being said about you. I guess I kind of understand because you watch me, I'm a small YouTuber, and like, this is the first time you're seeing me anywhere, and you're like, oh shit, this is interesting. So then you're like, I'm gonna tell Angelina about this. But for me, it's not the first time, it's not the second time, it's not the third time, it's not the fourth time. For me, it's just another heartache, it's just another like panic attack, it's just another thing that I don't want to deal with, and then I feel it's just not fun. But yeah, and I don't want anyone to think that I'm above criticism, I'm above being clowned, I'm above being memed. Like, it is what it is, but you can't deny that it does cross a line a lot of the time. I feel like safety is like a basic thing that people appreciate, but when you're constantly being threatened, like, it's not fun. Sometimes I like end up believing like maybe I am toxic. Maybe I am. Like, maybe this isn't good. Maybe I don't know. But yeah, like I said, this was just a rant. This is me just venting. It felt very therapeutic. So yeah, thank you for listening. I just needed to vent that out. I often don't talk about these things because I don't want to bring attention to them, and then obviously I look like a victim. I feel like I am victimizing myself, and I don't want to do that, because at the end of the day, if I'm sad, it's not your fault. It's not your issue to deal with, and it shouldn't be. But I also am human, and things do affect me. So when people are like, you're so strong, I don't know how you deal with this, you're giving me inspiration to deal with other things, and I'm like, oh, shit, am I? Like, I is that a good thing? Like, I feel like, it's fine if you're sad about this. You don't have to be strong. Like, it's okay if you're not able to face this. Just because you see me joking about the hate I received doesn't mean that your emotions are invalid. Like, I don't also want to send that message either. I don't know. I've been rambling for quite a bit. Your emotions are valid. If you feel not strong enough to deal with something, that's totally fine. Please seek out help if you need to. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Again, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for just your support. It means a lot to me. As for me, I'm gonna get going, so I'll see you guys next time. Bye.